as well, and really supporting the Albanian community in making a big contribution to the wider community. I think it's been a very, very important work that Stresa has done, reflecting great credit, of course, on Luli. He's a remarkable social entrepreneur who's driven this over all that time, and on the team that works with her, and I can see a number of faces around who've been working very closely with Luli for a long time. But it also reflects, I think, very well on the community and the approach that the community took when it arrived in the UK 12, 13 years ago. The community now doing well. I think most of the members of Stresa used to live in my constituency. Now they've spread out and sadly they've gone to Barking and places like that, and doing well. And that's what we all want to see. In fact, great credit on Stresa. This evening we are going to be particularly focusing on one of the big campaigns which Stresa has been taking forward about language and about getting Albanian GCSE. And also looking through my files, I noticed that the first letter I wrote about that was 5 years ago. All these anniversaries coinciding 5 years ago to the then June night. It's been a long haul getting to this point. But I think we are now seeing some real progress, and I think that's going to be reported to us later on this evening. But there's still more that needs to be done, and I think part of the hope from this meeting is there'll be some new determination and energy to make sure that the fundraising target is met, and that we can get that GCSE that the community has been lobbying for and working for so long. But having welcomed everybody, the real chair for this evening is Neil Jameson, to whom I will now hand over, who's worked very, very closely.
It's a great movement. So that's a specific purpose for us to celebrate Stresa, to thank the volunteers and the staff for what they do, but to continue to raise the resources which will mean that the culture and the language survives in this great country. So I'd like to first turn to Andre, who is one of the examples of how this organisation churns out good leaders, to share his thoughts with us.
Safe campaign. We also did the End Child Detention campaign, both huge campaigns, and learning these skills, we were able to transfer them into our campaign and learn that by social activism we could get together people and be able to start making a change. So then the next steps from there were who do we contact, what do we need? So going back and forth between MPs and other supporters, we decided that we would target exam boards. So what happened, the three big examples are AQA, EdExcel and OCR. And getting in contact with them was extremely difficult because organisations such as OCR are not for profit, and for them, they really need a strong case to take something like this on. And after being stonewalled by both AQA, EdExcel and OCR, a team of young people, Luli and a member from Citizens UK, went down to OCR headquarters in Cambridge, and they were refused entry into the premises. So they stayed out there and trying to find out why, and they were just refused entry. After that, we decided that we need some sort of strong action, and taking the skills we learned from Telco and Citizens UK, we decided to write an article in the Education Times, something which I'm sure the CEO of OCR has in front of him every morning. And we explained how we were stonewalled and what we were trying to do, and that eventually landed us our first meeting. So the team went back to Cambridge, and we began to learn what we need. But it still wasn't plain sailing straight from the beginning. We needed a sort of business case, but for some reason the exam board was being very difficult about it, because after some negotiations back and forth, we eventually realised that what we would need. So what we would need, and apologies for the amount of figures there are, we need £100,000 raised. That was simply to create the qualification. They said that if we were able to deliver that, we would have the qualification ready to be sat by 2016. The other thing that we needed was 300 young people per year to be able to sit the exam. And obviously, because the Albanian community in the UK is small and growing, the fact that we had decided to make it an international GCSE was very beneficial because we can expand that and we realised that the numbers are much easier to create.
I always like these sorts of events when you're not told that you're going to speak before you come. But I'm never afraid to come to an Espresso event because they've always been so supportive of my school. I'll tell you a little bit about Gascoigne. We're in the centre of the Gascoigne estate in Barking. We've grown enormously over the last 10 years. We have now 1,200 pupils. And there are over 60 different languages spoken within the school, Albanian being just one of them. But we have a large Albanian population, about 300 children, I think, last count within the school. We also have a very turbulent population. We serve an area of deprived housing, and we have a mobility rate of 50% most years. So pupils move in and move out. A lot of newly arrived children who have no English at all. We have ever since, I think. That's the way the theatre works, gets everything for nothing. And it has been a wonderful relationship over those years. They have supported the school enormously. And I feel a bit of a fraud, really, because I should be thanking them for the work that they've done for the school. It's made a massive difference to the children in the school to see their parents and staff working so closely together and seeing the trust between their community and the school. And that has helped enormously. Really good relationships with the community. And I know if there's any problems at all, I can speak to parents and the SRF about that. It's also given the children enormous confidence. The ability to express their own cultural activities within the school and within the community so easily has made them feel more confident. And the work that Louis Esra and her team have done with other community groups has been enormously helpful as well. You know, we have a lot of community groups that are new to the country who just established themselves, and to see the example of the Albanian community and what they have done in such a short period of time is really good for them. And UBS has worked with various groups, Lithuanian families, the Portuguese community, which is a large group as well. And
so I normally get to speak to Stresa and its members about housing issues, about welfare reforms and the likes that have been passed by the House of Commons in the past few years. However, tonight we are here for a Stresa program, and I would like to thank everyone here who has taken the time to participate in this meeting tonight. Schools are the best place where language skills can flourish more than anywhere else, as we all know. I know that Stresa has had enormous progress in this project. It was very delightful to hear from Andre about the journey that they have had to go through, and it's not always been easy. The main milestone, as it was called here tonight, is the fundraising. Mr. Verbier was supposed to be here tonight. Unfortunately, last-minute changes. Albania yesterday received a big yes from the European Union Commission to its application as a candidate state for the European Union, and as a result, it has been brought advised me to advise everyone that the efforts and the support of the Albanian government will not stop there. He is, I believe, a man of words, and always actions speak louder than words. I have been told a lot of things, but I'm not going to say anything because no more than £10,000 has been locked into that district account yet. But it doesn't mean that the support of the Albanian government stops there. It will continue. The other thing that I want to say is that the Albanian government sees the Albanian community in the UK, the Albanian speaking community in the UK, as a model. And it sees it as a model that can be replicated in other countries. Obviously, there is a huge population of the country, nearly 1/3, that lives abroad. In countries like Greece and Italy, neighbouring.
A few qualifications that probably even Lily doesn't know, in that I'm an ex-language teacher. I teach English now. My job is to be in charge of English as an additional language in a school that has 59 languages, not quite as many as and many more cultures within it. And one of the things that we know that is so important for all those communities is that they should feel respected, that they should feel valued. As an EAL teacher, I know that if my children feel safe, settled and valued, that they will do a lot better generally in everything, not just in their own language, but in everything that they do. And so for me, if we have an Albanian language for many of the children who have Albanian as their first language or as their mother tongue, it will help with their identity, it will help with their value, it will help them to feel that they are properly, that they will have kudos within their community, and they'll have a higher profile, there'll be a higher profile for Albanians generally. So I think qualification has a lot more to it than just being a qualification. Yes, I learned French as another language. I became a French teacher. But it was only when I went to live in France and really understand the culture that I could understand value given to you that you should be given as a nation, and that your identity is recognised just as it says. So I hope that this campaign goes on very well, and wherever I can, I will support you in that, and I'm sure that my school will also come behind as far as we can. Thank you.
However, Expressa has managed to get through and take people in a journey. When I remember when we started the first project, we were a group of women with small children that wanted to have English classes. We couldn't get any English classes because we had to wait 2 years for our children to be at the right age. And we said, okay, what can we do? Wait 2 years or do something? We went to the church and asked for a room. We went to the college and said, can you bring the teacher to the room? And we did the crash by ourselves. And that is the attitude today. It's not about looking for money. It's about looking for resources, identifying what you need, looking out for resources, who provides those services, and bringing them together in one place. And it doesn't matter who gets the funding and who doesn't. What it matters is the community have the services that they need at that particular time. That's why we've endorsed the London Citizens Listening Campaign every year. From April to end of May, we do a listening campaign where we identify what are the needs of the Albanian community in the areas where we work. We can't say that all the needs is the same. It's so different. We operate in 6 boroughs and have different needs. But you have to find a way to resource that. You have to find why is that meeting the Queen. We've got the special distinction for supplementary school. We've got the communities of health from the NHS. We've got the community of the year from London Citizens. We haven't got an award from you, I think. But all this, recognition is the fuel. It's something that keeps us going. It's something that keeps us motivating and having a passion to do the work. There is no day since I've started working that I wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to go to work. Every single day, it's a new day for us, it's a new day for everyone at Expressa, and we enjoy every single minute, having an impact, having a change in the people we work with. We take people in a journey, so they come with us with a need and we encourage them. It's difficult if you come to Expressa to leave Expressa, because you get involved in so many projects. You are encouraged to offer your support. Your skills will be best used, but you will be motivated, you will be happy, because you will see the impact of your contribution to the people and to the organization. We never forget to say thank you, and that is quite important, and that plays a key role in Expressa's operation over the years. And we think, in maths way. So, as I said, it's like a puzzle, and we just try and join, if we ought to get the funding for all the services that we provide, probably our turnover should be $1 million and above. But, it's been $250,000 for a number of years, and, it's going to stay the same. But we did, a research 2 years ago on how much the schools offer to us, and was nearly equal with our, amount of money that we had in that year. So 11 schools offer the venues for free to Expressa, and it's not just one room. But if we go at Mayfield School, we've got the sports hall, we've got 6 classrooms, 8 boxes, and they want more football, they want equally, they want, FIFA, lots of other things. And then we want to know the Albanian language because the parents want to communicate with the children. And the only way for that to happen is to enable parents to learn English and in the same place to help children to learn Albanian language. And that is why we started, this model. We wanted our families to communicate better. We wanted our parents to be confident enough to go in mainstream schools and talk to the teachers. We want the teachers to know more about the Albanian culture, so if they have an issue, they have a door to knock, to sort it. So what has happened since, we started the campaign? And I just want to let you know that no one had a brief. And you heard, Andre, how beautifully he spoke. He didn't have, okay, you have to talk about it. But they've gone through that process and they can talk about it. That, we can't go for funding for these projects, so we'll be worse off. But the community will be better off because they will learn the language in the mainstream school. They will have a quality of learning. It's not going to be dependent on volunteers, but it's going to be depending on good, qualified teachers, and they will have an exam at the end of it. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
Great volunteer for me, TY volunteer for me. This is absolutely a two-way street. In fact, what's coming back way trumps what was given in the first instance. And that to me is the genuine maturing and coming of age of the community. And this community is remarkable in terms of what it's achieved in such a short space of time and how kind of deep and impressive that is. And case in point, the way that you're kind of manoeuvring to achieve this GCSE. Woe betide anyone that stops you. It's going to happen. You'll get it. Absolutely, don't take your eye off the ball, but you will get it. And it's incredibly impressive. I think what's impressive as well is, and many people have picked this up tonight, about the idea of kind of mentoring or leading other migrant communities. So I know that Espresso has now begun to work with a whole lot of other migrant communities.
Because normally our community doesn't give money for things like this. We give money when someone is ill, when someone is dying, when there is a house, when it is emergency. But this is a luxury. And when we've gone back to our country, they've said, okay, are you silly? People are paying money to learn English and you want now to raise money to learn Albanian. So something is wrong with you. But then we didn't stop. We looked at different businesses and they said, let's see who is giving money. So we kept a record who is giving, who is not. And last year, I got for the first time lots of people in my list. Sorry, it's a working document, it's not like on a shelf. So quite a lot of people took part at the first global recognition event. Promised here, they do things. And quite a lot of them have done, and that's why we reached 50,000. For those that have said anything and kept the promise, we've got time till November to raise the next 50,000. So tonight, I'm going to ask you again to open the budgets, and in there you pledge how much or how you can help this campaign. And does it need to be cash? If it's cash, easier. But you can run a marathon, you can do a concert, you can, do a, someone says a dog celebration or walk or competition, golf. There is, the ways are unlimited. But please do help us. We've made, a plan to raise the next 50,000 till November. 28th of November, we would like to raise it. So, can you all help to make that happen? And if you do, please raise your hand. Give me my place back because I won't remember your hands. So this is where we are. And if we get this money till November, the Cambridge Institute will need 2 years to develop the curriculum. So the first students will be in 2016 for the exam to be taken in 2017. So please do help us on this. We rely on your support and your help, and you could be, really, really appreciated by the community. We'll prepare a plaque. Hopefully we're going to give it to the Albanian embassy and to the Kosovan embassy with all the names that have contributed to it. And I know so far that we've got Bar Tirana, the global bar businesses, we've got the businesses from Albania, we've got our talented young people that have raised the money through dancing, and through singing and poetry. So please do help us and come up with ideas, but help us to make them happen. Not just, it would be good to have, this. please, let's work hard to make it happen. It's for all of us.
What you've done and why you did it effectively. So we'll finish with a sort of rounds before the poetry, but also I've been prompted, we've been reflecting on the past a lot, and talking about the way the community is integrated and actually is very comfortable.
I've got a very small donation here, check with me. I'll leave it where we can take it to. It's a It's a £300 donation. Thank you very much.
The first time we have had the first Albanian councillor, and Councillor Gregory is here with us. I think we'd like to comment.
Of course, it's my duty to be because I'm Albanian. You've done a good job. Together with your volunteers, you've done a great job. I admire your job. Well done. With regard to the importance of recognizing the Albanian language, the colleagues spoke very fluently, beautiful ladies, so I'll keep it brief on that. I would like to mention an element of it. I've lived in the UK for 17 years, and one thing I understood that British society, British institutions, British governments will accept us with only our identity, our values, our traditions, and of course our language. So that is the cherry on the cake for the importance of the recognition of Albanian language. Albanian community is very...
I'm part of a young person activist program. Today I have a poem for you. Por si kanga e zogut verës, që vallëzon vlerim të prillit, por si ambi fladierës, zdore, në gjuhë shqipe në natona, që prej djepit na kanë thanur, se është një zot që du ta dona, njat që jetën na ka dhanë, trimin zarë, sikur si jemi. Prandaj pra, një doni fisin, marrin bregun edhe marsia, prej na i goja sot brorisin.
We are open. Teacher, so thank you so much for all your great support. And, Neil, Bob, Alistair, Leonie, thank you so much for all, and Ludwig, he's not there as well. So thank you for all the, the support that you've given to this campaign and to Stresa in general.